So there's a lot of conversation going on right now about implementing a no mask law in Portland, Oregon, and I want to talk about my own personal experience with demasking and how much of an impact it actually has on a city when they implement the no mask law. It's important to talk about Berkeley, California. It is such an amazing example. Berkeley, for those of you who remember in 2017, it was the city to fight for free speech, and in all of America, that was the city that was getting the most attention for the attack on free speech. Ironically, Berkeley was a huge free speech capital back in the day. What had happened is that the police were continuing to stand down and they were bending a knee for these masked terrorists, these thugs who were running around beating up people who were trying to promote freedom. They were not beating up fascists, they were not beating up Nazis, they were not beating up racists, ladies and gentlemen. They don't go after the real racists. They're too afraid. What happened is March 4th, 2017, the police stood down. You had April 15th, 2017, the police stood down. You have August 27th, 2017, the police stood down. August 17th or 27th was horrible. It was really bad what happened that day. Now, all of you remember the famous Milo came into UC Berkeley and the police stood down as they were burning down the campus. It was absolutely amazing. It was crazy what was happening. I had no idea that America would turn into this, right? And you have to understand, Berkeley has a lot of connections to Portland, similarities, I should say, and the fact that it's a huge Antifa presence. Huge, a lot of communists in Berkeley, just like in Portland. Berkeley has the same hateful culture where you can justify hurting someone because they're different than you, hurting someone because they believe differently from you. So what had happened though is you have all these people getting beat up in the streets all the time, right in front of the police, right in front of the police. And the thing is that they were always masked up, always, right? You're not going to see anyone commit a crime with their face uncovered, right? No face, no case. It's just the way it is. These guys don't want to serve time. They don't want to go into jail, right? They want to be able to assault someone and run into their crowd and hide like a child so they can get away with it. There's thousands of people in the park. They took over the park where we were supposed to have our rally. And about, I don't know, 500 of them were masked up. And there was a lot of normal liberals there. There was people holding up no hate, right? They're like peace, no violence, all this stuff and everything. And then Antifa comes in and just starts beating the living crap out of everybody. Like reporters, anybody that wasn't like part of their crew, they were running around like madmen, right? It was a mob mentality. They beat up several reporters. I mean, it's all on national television. Tiny, Pete Peters, and myself walked into the crowd with our hands up. We took a beating. Pete Peters took the worst of it. I mean, they put a bat to his head, knocked him out unconscious, right? Unconscious, to the ground. For what? For what? Because he's a fascist, supposedly? No. This is political. This is about putting fear into the hearts and minds of every single American who does not believe in your communist, fascist, ideological ideas. That's all it is. It's that simple. They use racism as an excuse because it's hard to beat people up, or it's hard to get people to be violent because, oh hey, that guy believes in freedom, go beat him up. It's like, what? That's his crime? Ever since that day, the mayor decided to allow the police to enforce the no mask law. The no mask law was already existent in Berkeley, but they decided to enforce it. What happened after that? Let's talk about what happened after that. Milo came into Berkeley and he was literally on the streets marching, right? No Antifa, no violence, no destruction of property. We're talking about Milo here. Last time he was in there, they burnt down the campus. They were like rioting. They had a huge fire. They burnt a generator. They were running around attacking innocent people. They pepper sprayed a woman just because she had a hat that said, make America Bitcoin again or something like that. It was amazing. So anyways, I decided to come back down because I'm like, I need to challenge this. I want to see if they're actually going to protect us. We went down there. I had no idea what to expect. No clue. Like, I thought it was going to be total mayhem down there. Like, so I show up and there's like no Antifa. I was like, what is going on here? This is like the Antifa capital. Like, there's no Antifa. Not only that, the police even arrested Yvette Falarka, the leader of By Any Means Necessary. So, because she was assaulting people, you know. But that's the thing. Something happened in Berkeley. There was enough pressure on them that they decided to follow the law. And my guess is that someone had something on the mayor. Like, my guess is that someone had evidence that the mayor was connected to Antifa, and they gave him a choice. They said, either do your job, or we're gonna have you convicted. Okay, that's just a guess. But anyways, so check out these videos of what they did and how they did it, because you don't have to demask a bunch of people. All you have to do is begin to arrest a couple people who show up with masks on, and then everyone else follows suit. They don't show up masked up. That's all it takes. And the best thing about this is that it's very efficient money-wise, right? Because the only other option, if you don't want violence in your town anymore, if you don't want a bunch of people coming into your town, you're gonna have to keep groups separated, and that costs a lot of money, and that puts officers at risk. Berkeley had to deal with the same anxiety, the same stress of the negative attention that they had to deal with in Portland. So now, though, that they've done this, they enforced a no-mask law, and it didn't cost them a bunch of money. There's no one going in there to challenge free speech anymore, because the people feel like they're honoring free speech. Check out these videos and see the different ways that they do the no mask. So Mayor Wheeler, if you're sick and tired of all the attention that you've been getting at a national level, if you're stressed out, you don't know what to do, enforce a no-mask law and all your problems will be solved.
New tonight, Patriot Prayer leader Joey Gibson says he will turn himself in to authorities. Gibson's lawyer says he's facing a felony charge of rioting in connection to a May Day brawl outside a local bar, and says his client learned of the charge through a malfunction on the district attorney's website.
Fox 12's Marcia Martinez spoke with Gibson. She joins us live now from the Justice Center with his reaction. Marcia?
Well, first, I do want to say that a Portland police detective did confirm to me there is an active arrest warrant out for Gibson. When Gibson and I spoke earlier, he says this is a huge attack on the First Amendment, and he also says he never got physical with anyone.
My crime is standing on a sidewalk recording, talking to people, and being assaulted. Who did I assault? That's part of the rioting charges. You have to be violent.
Gibson is accusing the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office of filing a politically motivated felony charge against him. Gibson's lawyer, James Bucal, says the two learned this morning Gibson's being accused of writing a Class C felony charge. Despite repeated requests, the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office is refusing to confirm if it's filed the charge. Gibson says this all stems from a brawl outside Cider Riot Brew Pub. Video Fox 12 obtained shows shoving, cursing, and spitting as opposing groups of protesters clash. But things quickly escalate. Some involved used pepper spray. Police arrested 6 people in connection to the so-called riot, and the bar's owner filed a $1 million lawsuit against Gibson. But Gibson's lawyer, who's also the Multnomah County GOP chair, tells Fox 12 by Oregon law, a felony riot charge requires proof of tumultuous and violent conduct. He says, although there are multiple videos of the events outside Cider Riot, not one of them shows Gibson engaging in violent conduct. When we ask Gibson if he will turn himself in,
Absolutely.
Will you be back in Portland after that?
Well, now I have to, because now they're going to try to shut me up, and I can't just bend the knee to that.
Gibson says he doesn't know exactly when he's going to turn himself in, but he thinks he'll do so on Saturday. Reporting live from the Justice Center, Marcia Martinez, Fox 12 Oregon.
New at 12:30, Patriot Prayer leader Joey Gibson has turned himself in to authorities. Gibson's lawyer confirmed Thursday his client is facing a felony charge of rioting in connection to a May Day brawl outside of a local bar, and says that they learned of the charge through a malfunction on the district attorney's website. Fox 12's Amber Wilmarth joins us live from the Justice Center, where Gibson made a public statement before turning himself in just about 30 minutes ago. Amber?
Pete, that's right. Gibson stood right here when he addressed the media, and he had several messages for us, but the main one that he wanted to get across was that he says he's never been violent at any of the protests that he's attended, including the one that this charge stems from. And here's another part of his message. Take a listen.
We're not going to stand down to Mayor Wheeler, okay? We're not going to stand down to the corrupt charges that they're bringing on us. They refuse to charge Antifa. We need to ask that question.
Gibson is accusing the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office of filing a politically motivated felony charge against him and says it is an attack on the First Amendment. Gibson's lawyer says the two learned Thursday morning Gibson's being accused of writing a Class C felony charge. Despite repeated requests, the Multnomah County DA's office is refusing to confirm if it's filed the charge. A Portland police detective has confirmed with Fox 12, though, that there is an active arrest warrant. Gibson says this all stems from a brawl outside Cider Riot Brew Pub in Northeast Portland. Video Fox 12 obtained shows shoving, cursing, and spitting as opposing groups of protesters clashed. But things quickly escalate. Some involved used pepper spray. Police arrested 5 people in connection to the so-called riot, and the bar's owner filed a $1 million lawsuit against Gibson. But Gibson's lawyer, who's also the Multnomah County GOP chair, tells Fox 12, by Oregon law, a felony riot charge requires proof of violent conduct. He says although there are multiple videos of the events outside of Cider Riot, not one of them shows Gibson engaging in violent conduct. And Gibson did share a couple other messages when he was addressing the media, and those include that his message for tomorrow, he says he's encouraging people to show up, but also encouraging people to not break the law, and he's discussing those demonstrations that are planned for downtown Portland tomorrow. And his second message that he wanted to get out was that he's really a fan or encouraging that no mask law. He says that could help with demonstrations. But again, he did turn himself in. He walked up these steps and into the Justice Center, which is where he is now. Reporting live from the Multnomah County Justice Center, Amber Wilmarth.
I'm really concerned about the Antifa versus right-wing protests that are happening tomorrow. I think it has the potential to be a powder keg. I mean, in Portland, political violence is a banality now. However, the demonstrations tomorrow are looming in the shadows of the recent mass shootings by the far left and the far right ideologues. And there are extremist elements who are broadcasting their desires for bloodshed. On top of that, police seem to be at a breaking point. They're severely understaffed.
But the police will be there. Don't you trust the police to keep the peace?
Oh, I wish I could, but as many of your viewers know, it's nearly 7 weeks ago now, I was beaten and robbed in daylight in the middle of downtown Portland in front of the police precinct by Antifa, and there still has not been a single arrest.
Enforcement sources that it's not the rank and file police officers on the ground. They understand there's an issue at a lot of these rallies and that things need to be done. We saw the awful video of that just horrendous attack on you. They're saying, my sources at least, that it's more of a management issue there, that there's kind of a, I don't want to say stand down atmosphere, but don't get involved because it'll make the situation worse. But I don't see how it could get any worse.
There may not be a vocal stand-down order, but in practice, the policies that are outlined for police is basically stand-down. They, as you've seen in videos that go viral over and over, Antifa and other far-left militants can take over the streets of downtown with impunity.
We got a statement from Chief Danielle Outlaw with the Portland Police Bureau about the protest, and this is what the statement says. Portland Police Bureau members continue to plan for the upcoming demonstrations. The demonstrations will be impacting a very small area of Portland, and I encourage everyone to enjoy what will likely be a beautiful day by engaging in fun activities at a number of community events.
So, let's get some stuff out of the way first. This is a talk, right? We're talking. Yes, I'm a woman. Yes, I'm 41 and a half years old. Yes, I'm African American.
No one cares!
Yes, I am the chief of a major metropolitan city. Yes, I'm from Oakland, California. And yes, my last name is Outlaw. All right.
I have a dream. I have a dream.
Yo, what about people with sleeping disorders?
Oh, so you have a dream, brother? I ain't got no time for dreams, cause I'm too busy being woke. What you're not gonna do is ignore the fact that institutionalized racism is a real thing, my niggas. Can you smell the white demon's sulfur?
Egyptians were black, Jesus was black,
Yeah.
and Santa too.
We're going to keep people separated.
Gotta keep them separated.
We're going to make sure that we use personnel and other tactics to keep that separation. And on the whole, we've been very good at that.
Bullshit.
So that's what we're going to continue to do.
There's been no arrest, though, when it comes to Andy Ngo. We know that they are still in the process of trying to make an arrest in that case. But what message does that send if there was not follow through there, Mayor, on what happened to that conservative journalist?
Well, with all due respect, I disagree. We don't tolerate any act of violence, not that act of violence or any other.
Bullshit.
And the police are investigating, and they are following up on leads.
Here is the tweet from Andy Ngo. I was beaten on the head and robbed on 29 June. Antifa then continued to hurl milkshakes at my bleeding face. I was hospitalized with a brain hemorrhage. There still hasn't been a single arrest by Portland police. I guess on that point, there are cameras everywhere that captured that incident, sir.
Indeed, there are. And the police bureau has asked for that video footage. As recently as a few days ago, they put that call out again. They have photographs of some of the individuals that they believe were the perpetrators. And I know that the intelligence unit continues to follow up on those leads. And I'm confident that there will be arrests in that particular case.
You are? Okay.
Look, we've seen this national rising tide of violence and hate speech and intolerance, and it's mostly been geared towards women, towards people of color, towards immigrants. And we want to put out the message. We'll be ready for them. We will be enforcing the law.
You know,
if people
the
are
track
thinking of
record
coming
of
to Portland to
Antifa.
commit
I
acts of
apologize
violence,
for talking
we
over
don't
you,
want
sir.
you here.
You know the record of Antifa as well, sir, right?
Look, this isn't about anybody's politics. This is about behavior.
Bullshit.
Anybody, whether they're coming here, whether they live here, if they're engaged in acts of violence, if they're breaking the law, we're going to enforce it. We're going to hold people accountable.
But obviously you're doing your best to track their movements and their plans for the weekend. The local Antifa affiliate, if you will, or whatever you want to call it, Rose City Antifa, they claimed responsibility for the attack of Andy Ngo. What do you know about their whereabouts and their plans for the weekend?
Well, as the police commissioner, my job is to give broad strategic direction. So what I'm telling the police bureau is no violence, no vandalism. Don't let the city get shut down.
Don't let the city get shut down.
That's because to me you aren't special. You were special to rats. Now they're dead. I guess it was me you should have impressed. God damn it, I love myself.